From the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lew got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lew, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lew, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lew right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Braxton, happy Sunday, episode 21, Broadway Woody, Woody Lew, Sports, and You. We got a jam-packed episode with a lot of ticker topics. But Braxton, how have you been?
It's been a week, man. We followed up. We were here last week. We're back this week. So that's good news for us coming off of our 1-year anniversary. It's still in the trenches with the young girls, but we're thriving and we made it to another Sunday.
Yeah, just happy to be here. So the first topic that you asked me to put on the ticker when we were doing our pre-show discussions was grit of the week. And that's all that you gave me. So I have no idea what this topic is going to be. So let's jump right in it.
Yeah, so last week we talked about me running 10 miles on a quarter-mile track with my grit test leading into that episode. So this week I have not ran. I've not exercised. You can probably tell. But did give some grit to myself. Wednesday at 6:30 in the evening was my last meal for 40 hours. I did a 40-hour fast. Jesus did 40 days. I opted for 40 hours. Longest I've ever gone without food, willingly at least.
What spurred that? Just like a cleanse, a flush, or just see how long you could go on your own personal hunger strike?
So we do, me and my buddies do a Bible study on Tuesday, and one of the guys said he just did a fast. And if you know how I am, he said he did a fast. So I said I can do a fast. So I had my last meal Wednesday, and I told Kaylee the goal was 48. So let me break it down. So Wednesday, I started. I'm good. Well, actually, I'm miserable Thursday, like the whole afternoon.
Yeah.
Thursday night, I'm like fine. Like around Thursday night, I was okay. The sad part is Kaylee made cookies Wednesday and Thursday night. And Thursday night, she was tied up with Gigi. So I actually had to like pull the cookies and prep her plate of cookies Thursday night. That was tough, but we persevered, just had a coffee. And then Friday Daddy date night in our house. Friday morning, I was a grouch. I was snapping. And anyway, got to the 40-hour mark. I was scared of breaking the fast going 48 hours and breaking the fast Friday night at dinner. And we went down to the river in Savannah. So I broke it at like 11:30 or so, whatever that math works out to be. Had a small little breakfast. And then Thursday night, I'll tell you what, you can save a lot of money on adult drinks if you just don't eat for 40 hours and then you have an IPA or two. So it was a good time, but that was my grid of the week. Did 40 hours. The next time I do it, it's going to be 48. And I'm thinking about making this a twice a month endeavor.
Just to like challenge yourself, or I've heard it's good to like kind of flush the system.
Well, yeah, the flushing the system's good. I only had water and coffee, but
And
I
an
had
IPA, it sounds like.
well, that was after. But
Oh, after.
the thing is, Dan, I had a Zen and nicotine the whole time. I don't know. I know it says like your body starts fighting off cancerous cells and all this stuff. I don't know if the constant strain of nicotine running through my body like counteracts the positive effects. So it might actually just be a fully mental endeavor. I don't. I think it might offset.
That is pretty gritty. I don't think I'm going to be joining you in that willingly. I very much like food and eating, and I don't like the feeling of being hungry. But more
Well,
power to you, Braxton.
I told Kaylee, I was like, when you're in the field, you can go a decent bit without food.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, I think honestly, this was harder because it's harder to not eat when you have access to food. And that's
especially when you're taking warm cookies out of the oven.
fully acknowledge this is first world problems, and this
Right.
could be poorly received from an audience who doesn't know us. But it was a thing, and I looked to up the ante up to 48 hours next time I do it.
Okay, 48 hours, got to make it. Still working towards your half marathon. I know you're going to get it.
Working towards, I mean, I've done nothing to work towards it, to be honest with you. I've thought about it. The issue we're having is I could wake up at 4 a.m. and go work out, and the girls will start waking up around 6. So I have like a 2-hour window there, but that's really early. So I don't do that.
That is really.
And I could also go when they're both at school. I got like a 4-hour window, but it's do that, go work out, or go help around the house and maybe watch some YouTube videos and just relax before the chaos starts back up. So decisions are being made. I don't know if it's best for my health, but it's best for my sanity.
That's fair. So I thought when you said you weren't going to eat food for 48 hours, that might be your personal hunger strike against what is the UK football program. I want to jump right into that, as I had just an absolute delight being in a group text with you and the Mad Hatter himself, Mr. Chris Lewis, during Saturday night's UK Texas football game in Lexington.
Yeah. So there's a lot of animosity right now across the program of the fan base wanting to fire Mark Stoops. I don't know where I fall on that lever, considering the carousel that's about to come up, and we'll talk more on that later. But Stoops has done things these last 13 years that haven't been done here. And what I'm finding ironic is if you ask a run-of-the-mill Kentucky fan, they'll tell you that all they want from their Kentucky football coach is 6 to 8 wins, just as happy with 6 as they are 8, and then throw in a 9 or 10 win season with a bowl win every 5 years. That's exactly what Mark Stoops has done. Now, he went 4-8 last year. He might go 3-9 or 4-8 this year, but it doesn't change what he has done. And I know you can look at the trajectory. I don't know. I'm really torn. But with that said, Texas game, just like with the Georgia game, I convinced myself we were going to win. I sent a text in our family group chat that Kentucky was going to win by 3 early in the day. I think I texted it to you as well. I texted some people. I was in the Friday morning. I was in the school drop-off line, and Trooper Mac, I don't know if Trooper Mac's watching right now in the chat. He texted me. I was in the school drop-off line. He was like, "Should I bet Kentucky?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And we started talking about it.
Absolutely not.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure the money line is like 375. So that's really good odds. And the under was 42. And I told him, Texas's offense has not been good. Our defense is pretty good. And our offense is terrible. And their defense is good. So we just kind of talked. And I was like, parlay the money line and under wouldn't be a bad bet. So he ends up betting it. Told him I'll charge 15%. So we go in the game. I'm convinced we're going to win. I mean, I can dissect the whole thing. First drive of the game, we get it down. We're driving, and we have a chance to get 3 points. We end up going for it, and we don't get the conversion on the very first drive. I'm not mad about that. You get the 3 points, but you're playing Texas. You're playing Arch Manning. You're Kentucky. You're 2-3. You have nothing to lose. Go for it on the 25-30 where we were. I don't hate that. We shouldn't get it. Defense played great. We didn't get any no turnovers, but the defense played great. Held them to ultimately 16 points, 13 in regulation. Here's the thing. I added you to the group chat. The night was rolling. It was deep, late into a SEC Saturday night, if you will. In the fourth quarter, games 10-10, we have a chance with like 6 or 5 minutes to go down the field, kick a late field goal. Because we ended up having 40 minutes time possession the whole game. We get stopped, we punt it, and huge drive. They get it down. We ended up getting lucky because I think there was about 2 minutes left. We stop, use our timeouts. It was a second down. They throw the ball. We get a stop on 3rd and 1, and the guy gets out of bounds. 3rd and 1, hold them, timeout. They kick the field goal. We get the ball back. 57 seconds. We're down 3, and we got Texas. Chad Ochocinco's in the student section, Daniel, and I watched Cutter Boley, this redshirt freshman quarterback, drive the field in 53 seconds and get us points for overtime. Kid had a great game.
Yep.
And that's when I started to believe. And I told Matt Hatter, I told you, it's going to hurt. However this goes down, it's going to hurt.
That was exactly the line that you said. This is what's going to hurt.
Kaylee's knocked out on the couch. I'm like in the fetal position, like just pacing. When we lost the coin toss and we got the ball first, I knew we were screwed. And here's the thing about what happened in overtime. We ran the ball straight. First play of overtime, Kendrick Law gets to the 4-3 yard line. We got 4 chances to get in the end zone. We run it up the middle all 3 times and no dice, get stopped. They end up getting a field goal. They win 16-13. Here, how do you look at it? Arch Manning played terrible. You look at every stat category except for the 1 interception Cutter Boley threw. We won every category. Time possession, yards, passing, rushing. They had 2 punt returns that totaled 80 yards, which set up their first scoring opportunity and their second. And you take those 2 punts away, we probably pitch a shutout, and he loses. And here's the thing. No one cares that we went to overtime and lost by 3 to Arch Manning in Texas, that we lost another game. Fan base is pretty dejected. I was dejected last night after the game. I ended up staying up for the post-game show. I was up till 2 in the morning listening to the post-game show. I just couldn't go to sleep. I just wanted to wallow in the misery. But the weird thing, Dan, usually my heart was racing during the 1 minute drive to tie it. But over time, my heart was calm.
You just knew.
I felt like I accepted it, and that's a bad feeling as a Kentucky fan because I almost just accepted our fate. And here's the thing: when Kendrick Law got to the 3 yard line, the first play of overtime, I still had minimal confidence we were actually going to punch it in, and we were on the 3 yard line with 4 chances. So it is what it is. I love Kentucky. I love Mark Stoops. I don't know. I guess where I'm at, Dan, I don't know who we're going to hire this offseason with the jobs that are open that are going to make it any different. And I think ultimately, going on record, I said this about kind of Cam Ward and Titans. I'm going to say it about Kentucky. I can almost guarantee right now, we fire Mark Stoops, we're going to have buyer's remorse with the next head coach. Because I guarantee the next head coach is going to do something similar to what Mark Stoops has done the last 2 seasons. And people are going to be sitting there like, well, at least we knew we were, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be doubt. They're going to get rid of the old, in with the new, no change. There's going to be buyer's remorse. And I got to tell you, I called into the KSR pre-show, the pregame show, and I asked this question, Dan. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Yes.
You know, the fan base wants us to go 3-9, 4-8, so we can fire them. because they're like, hey, if we go 5-7, 6-6 or better, we're not going to fire him. And I just posed the question: we're ready to leave our wife, right, and get a new thing. But what happens? Like, what's the fan base's reaction? Like, what if he could have easily won the Texas game. He could have easily won the Ole Miss game. Those are one possession games we lost to top 25 SEC teams. What happens if he would have won last night? That's what I said. What if we beats Texas? He ends up beating Tennessee Tech. He beats Louisville, Vandy, Auburn, who might not have a head coach. Florida, who's not going to have a head coach. What if he goes 7-5 and he leaves us? Like, what's kind of the emotion there? And they kind of played it off like, well, that'd be best case scenario if you could just leave on good terms. I don't know.
Well, that's what's so like interesting because now talking, I mean, obviously this happens, every year with the coaching carousel. And we're going to deep dive that in a little bit. But it was what was it 2 seasons? It must have been 2 seasons ago when he was the short list for the A&M coach to take over for Jimbo Fisher. It was like he rejected it, right?
He got hired.
Yeah.
He got hired behind the scenes. It leaked. The fan base freaked out. Based off fan reaction, they ended up pulling it. But yes, he was on paper, bags were packed, about to go to Texas, go to College Station.
When was that? The A&M fans?
A&M fans.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they saw the reaction of our fans being like, see ya. And it's usually not a good sign when you want your head coach to leave, Like, we shouldn't want him to go if he's going to Texas A&M, but we had just lost to Clemson in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
In a game we should have beat Khakis in, so it is what it is.
But yeah, like the grass it's always greener. Like that's just crazy to me that he was going to be he was hired as the coach of. I mean, I think A&M is probably, I think they're tier 1 NCAA college football, like SEC. Like,
what's hurting Mark Stoops, and like I said, kind of what I said in the beginning of, you ask the average fan, we're cool with, in a 5-year span going 4-8, 6-6, 7-5, 5-7, 8-4. We're cool with that. But what's going against Mark Stoops is it's hard to accept that kind of those seasons when you have Indiana ranked 3rd, Vandy beating LSU at home as a favorite, BYU, just this list of schools that aren't powerhouses who are staples trying to get in the college football playoff. If they can do it, why can't we do it? I think that's where it's really hurting Mark Stoops a lot, is the parity brought in by NIL has made these basketball or other like smaller schools relevant in the college football playoff, and we have just stayed status quo. And I think that's really hurting him. And if NIL and all that would have never happened, he probably could have lived his career out here and never have another season with more than 7 or 8 wins.
And we've talked about it ad nauseum before about the SEC just doing away with the divisions. I think that Kentucky probably benefited the most from being in that Eastern division. We do have a lot of chat. Oh, go ahead.
We'll get into it, but like I'm thinking of Auburn too, just like schools like that who had the chance to have the rabbit, the foot with them for one season. They're one upset against this team away from the SEC championship. That's gone, and so much more pressure. But go ahead to the chat.
Yeah, we got some good chatter in the chat. Miss Amy Lewis, she started off commenting on the grid of the week. She does a 72-hour fast once a month and a 40-hour fast once a month, and it gets easier the more you do. So you got that to look forward to, Braxton. Maybe I will give it a try. If Miss Amy Lewis swears by it, it's probably good for you.
I felt no better or worse. I just felt hungry. If it makes you put some context in it.
And then we got some good chatter about your beloved Kentucky Wildcats and Mark Stoops from Miss Patsy Gudgel. Remember what your papa always said: they will rip your heart out.
Yeah, I mean, I tell the girls, if they're in here and they're saying "Go Cats," they got their Kentucky cheerleading outfit on. Like, I tell them, no boy will ever break your heart worse than Kentucky football or basketball. Like, no boy will give you the same amount of heartache that these teams will.
They're gonna be some tough girls.
Yeah, they're gonna be tough as nails.
And then again from Miss Amy Lewis talking about the Cats. It may be time for Stoops to go, but I will always love him and appreciate what he did for the program.
You have to. I mean, he did things that, I think it might be on him with his staff, dude. Like, Why is Bush handing the offensive coordinator? If if Lane Kiffin had Cutter Boley, our freshman quarterback, he'd be on All-American watch list. Like, we got Kendrick Law. We have good players, man. We got good players. And, the best two coordinators he's had were Shannon Dawson, who I think in his best season got us 7 or 8 wins, and then Liam Cohen, who had the 10-win season, got us to 7 wins, and that Clemson Bowl loss with Devin Leary, and now he's, I guess, 4-2, 4-3 in the NFL with the loss today to the Rams. So, yeah, he hit good twice, but in 13 years having 2 good coordinators and them never staying longer than 2 seasons, it's hard to build a program.
And then lastly, on the topic of the Wildcats, the Mad Hatter, he had survived the roller coaster of last night and is chiming in with the A&M job broke Stoops emotionally. What do you think about that, Braxton?
That was on the heels of his divorce too, Dan. So imagine getting divorced. I know, and the thing about his buyout, I don't want to get too deep in Kentucky on here, but he has that $38 million buyout that's due in 2 weeks, and part of his divorce that's came out. This is alleged, but on good authority, it seems as if, and you're a lawyer, so maybe you have some knowledge, but there's a clause. People are saying there's a clause in his divorce that says she has like proprietary ownership of any potential earnings not already included. Like, she's going to be owed like what he could potentially make that's not already set in stone. And they're saying like that has a big impact on him, like being willing to work a lesser buyout.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. Yeah. He texts A&M, says, "We love you," and then breaks up with them right after he goes through a divorce. His kids are away from him. Liam Cohen left him right after that. So he got Liam Cohen back from the Rams, or they made him the OC. He gave him back for that one season. He's going to the Jags, but maybe Liam Cohen went to the Jags because Mark said, "I'm going to College Station." So, and now Vince Mara left for Louisville. So your best friend from Youngstown, he grew up together with, has been with you every step of the way. Now he's at the biggest rival down the road. He's tweeting, Jeff Brom's the best coach in college football. It has to hurt, man. And
yeah,
I don't know why people are so mad at him. We're Kentucky football. I want so badly for us to do like something like Indiana's doing or BYU's doing. And like we did, for a couple, 3-4 years where we were top 25, we could get up to 12, lose a game, go back to 22, and like kind of stay there. I love that. But that's not Kentucky football. And I don't know. I think he's done so much good for the program. And I would hate for and it's a generational thing. I think these young kids who are even younger than me, like these college age kids or like 25-year-olds, just they don't understand culture and history. They're just like, "Oh, he sucks. Like, get a new one."
Old man Braxton Ball shaking his fist at clouds.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's Kentucky football, dude. Like, no, we're not. You gotta put it in, put it in perspective a little bit, take a step back. And I have no animosity towards Mark Stoops.
So this is actually going a little off topic, but because you brought it up, this is something that occurred to me on Saturday morning watching my favorite college football morning pre-show, the Big Noon Kickoff. They were in Provo, Utah for the Holy War, BYU against the Utah Utes. But it got me thinking, like, at BYU, what does that tailgating look like? Because they can't drink.
So a guy went behind the scenes at a BYU tailgate, and he said he walked all the tailgates, and he found probably about 2 or 3 pop-up tents next to each other that were like dirty tailgating. They had
dirty tail. What do you mean by the dirty?
They had alcohol.
Got it.
Like a collection of 4 trucks, 3 tents, and 15 people who had alcohol. I don't know if where they tailgate. If that's part of campus and it's banned, because like for example,
right.
I don't know if that's campus property and they're if you're an adult, like I don't know.
Yeah, non-student.
Right, because when I think about it,
you gotta imagine like most people there probably practicing Mormons.
Correct, but I did see pictures of them in the tailgate area with beers in their hand. So 2%, 1% of the population, and I think the rest are just drinking dirty sodas from Slurp or Slug or whatever that place is called.
Thinking, I watched some of that game, and it was the Holy War. Like, it was the crowd, the tailgate, like outside Big Noon, like it was people were fired up, and the game.
Urban Meyer said it was great, or
Yeah,
like Urban Meyer said that's a great.
And the game day atmosphere, like in the stadium, it looked. I mean, it was exciting. It was fun. It was electric.
BYU's like the eighth mystery of the world, man. I want to go there so bad.
We should. I want to go.
It's like a pilgrimage I feel like we need to make.
Absolutely. Elder Woody and Elder Lewis.
I don't even the damage I do in that bookstore, Dan. That bookstore wouldn't be able to handle me. There's not enough bags in that place for me, and I want to go to that soda place. The soda store they got. That
you can't drink soda.
Yes, they can. Your girlfriend Taylor Frankie Paul loves this place. Someone in the chat tell us what this place is called. It's called Slurps or Slips or Fizz.
I'll look this up. I don't. The students, you can't have caffeine.
Yes, you can't have hot caffeine, Daniel. You can have soda.
You can have soda.
Iced coffee. You can't have hot coffee. You can't have hot
tea. Soda shop, soda bar. Okay. Student entrepreneurs open lounge, soda bar. Oh, it's got its own Instagram, Soda Bar Utah.
They can have cold caffeine. They can't have hot caffeine, Dan. So
I think it's the Elliston Place Soda Shop. No, that's in that. Never mind.
I don't think that's what I'm thinking of. But they get the dirty soda, which is like a Coke with coconut. They add a bunch of sugar and artificial flavors. That's what they do. That's how they get
the Slab is located in the Tanner Building on the BYU campus and is open to all students every weekday.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think this is it, but
what's it called, producer Kaylee? Kaylee said check chat. Swig.
Chat.
Called Swig, Dan.
Swig?
Swig is where they go.
Swig Soda Shop. Swig Drinks. Cool.
Yeah, that's their bar.
Swig Dirty Soda Shop. Yeah.
That's their bar. That's their dive bar.
Actually sound I don't know. Sounds kind of cool.
I
love root beer.
I'd be bloated for a month, dude. All that sugar.
Do you have a soda stream? That's all I picture what it is, basically. Just like some kid with a soda stream making soda.
I would love to go. My question is, believe it or not, I did not watch all of Big Noon Kickoff. Did the Barstool boys, did they cuss on campus? Because that's just as bad as drinking on campus.
They're pretty good about not cussing on their FS1 programming.
Pat McAfee, the ESPN can't go to Provo. He's probably banned. He'd probably
no, absolutely not. He can't go there. He's always talking about people getting lubed up. I had both on the multi-stream, and I think he's toned it. He's reeled it back a bit, and he is really good.
Are you turning the corner? You're turning the corner on him?
I think he's coming into his own a little bit. I know he's been on the show for so long, but I think now with I don't want to say it's not the cloud, but like the aura of Corso being there, like, every week now that they're moving, like separating more and more from his like retirement. Like, I think Pat's like settled in, and he's not as like overwhelming as he was in the past.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he has to compensate and talk over.
Yeah,
and I think they've made his position on the show, like his hierarchy, pretty clear.
He is like
he knows his place, and it's pretty high on the pecking
order. He is College Game Day.
It's him, and then Kirk Herbstreit's dog, and then Kirk Herbstreit, and then Reese Fowler or whoever
They had a good. They called up Mrs. Saban. Was it Miss Tammy? Is that her name?
Miss Terry.
Terry. That's it. Yeah, she was good. She's a spitfire. She was funny. Which I think is a good segue into our next topic, because the question that was posed to her was if Penn State offered Nick $50 million, would they go up to Happy Valley? That was the question on game day, which brings us to the coaching carousel, and every day there is more and more openings in the highest ranks of college football. So Braxton, you wanted to do a ranking of the open FBS head coaching positions.
So just to keep us up to date, today, Billy Napier got fired.
Yep.
He wins last night by a point. He gets fired today. And in his press conference, it's kind of sad. He knew that it was happening. He said, we're just going to worry. Just, enjoy tonight. So Florida's open. Now, one question before we get into the jobs that I'm going to list out. We're not going to include UAB and some of those smaller schools. Like Colorado State got rid of Norvell today. We're not going to include Colorado State. We're not going to include UAB. Do you want to go ahead and assume Kentucky and Auburn are open, or Kentucky, Auburn, and Florida State will be open, or no? Just leave them out because they're not official.
No, let's do it. Let's keep them. They're out.
They're out.
Yeah.
It's Florida State's out.
Yeah. Like news on Woody Lew Sports and you, we are calling an election early. We are calling for the heads of so who's that? That's Norvell. Who's the guy? The Hugh Freeze and Mark Stoops.
So we're going to include them in the power rankings.
Correct.
Okay. You might need pencil and paper for this.
I have. Okay. Well, I have the teams up.
So I'm tracking. Correct me where I'm wrong.
Okay.
We got Virginia Tech.
Yep.
UCLA.
Yep.
Stanford.
Yep.
Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Arkansas.
Yes.
Penn State, Florida.
Yes, and you're missing one. Oklahoma State.
I said Oklahoma State. That's okay.
Oh, Oregon State.
Are we including Oregon State?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought we were on the same page.
Beavers.
Yeah. We're not. If your conference doesn't have at least 3 teams in it, we're not including it. Okay, so that's who we got, and then we're going to throw in Auburn, Florida State.
Auburn, Kentucky, and Florida State. Yep.
Okay, do you want to do it where we give our own, or do you want to do it together? We'll just start number 1 and we'll go down, we'll alternate.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. So we'll do it together where we start with 1 and then we'll like a snake draft. But I
will let you argue number 1 though. Like we'll solidify number 1 before we move on. I think, and this is coming from a place of my perceived NIL opportunities with perceived history and perceived just full picture. If I was an up and coming coach who was offered this job versus the other jobs, say all these jobs wanted me, how I would rack and stack. So there's gonna be some personalness in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. To me, the number 1 job out of all these jobs would be Florida State.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that would make Florida State maybe right now not as enticing is the fact that I think to get Norvell and his staff out of there is going to cost to the tune of $50 million. To hire you and your staff is going to be expensive. So what impact that has to you being able to build a NIL roster, I don't know. Take that out for a second. If all these jobs,
let's take out like buyouts, like all that stuff.
So to me, Florida State's number 1. Reason being, Dan, is when you look at the ACC, Miami's good. Louisville is a fraud, but still has the ability to go down to Miami and beat them. Dabo's in shambles. You don't know what you're ever getting with Pittsburgh. Florida State has history, beautiful part of the country, really good opportunity for you to go there, get Florida State to back where it should be. And all you have to worry about, in my opinion, if you get that thing rolling, is beating Miami every season, segueing yourself into an ACC championship and eventual college football playoff berth, regardless if you're a top 4 seed automatic bid or if you get in there at 6, 7, 8. Florida State, to me, would be the easiest path to have continued success with high winning percentage and keeping the naysayers away. That's my case for Florida State number 1. I'll listen to what you have.
So I guess let me understand, is this like for you, like what if you were a head coach, like where do you want to go, or are we talking about like the overall, like
I think
how the positions are perceived rankings?
Okay, probably more personal because I think Florida or Auburn or Penn State would be perceived better. But I really think Florida. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. So that's where I was coming at it from, like kind of like a
Okay.
national prestige level, and like Florida State, like they're not even in the top like four for me by virtue of being in the ACC.
Wouldn't you want to be in a lesser Power Four conference?
Well, I would think like if you were in these guys, like they're egomaniacs.
You could
They're
own the ACC.
but they don't want to own the ACC. They want to own the SEC
Okay,
and the
so
Big
Florida's the
Ten.
number one job.
I would. I think Penn State. I think Penn State's the number one job. Just history.
What
I think
history?
Penn State is. What?
When I think of Penn State, I think of Sandusky and
Well, yeah, they
Paterno.
had that, but before that, I mean, Penn State was a national power throughout the '80s.
I just okay. The thing is, at Penn State, that job is great, and you don't know it until you play the games. But are you going to be able to beat Ohio State?
Probably not.
So you can't beat Ohio State, and you're always going to be in the shadow. And the Big Ten's not held to the same esteem. If Michigan's good and you're beating Michigan, but you're not beating Ohio State, you can still work your way in to the playoff at 10-2 or 11-1. But I would argue it'd almost be easier for you to have continued success going 9-3, 10-2 at a Florida, because there's going to be more respect put on your record in the SEC versus the
Yeah.
Big Ten. That's my take. But I'm an SEC guy. I'm not a
But
Northeast guy.
it's also, I mean, I don't know if maybe this is being delusional, but Penn State fans, like they see themselves as the same, if not better, Ohio State and Michigan. Like they truly believe that they are at that level.
I'll give you Penn State at 1.
Okay. Then next
So
is Florida. Well, go ahead.
Florida's
Yeah.
the clear number 2 then.
Florida is clear number 2.
Okay. So we got Penn State and Florida.
It's pretty crazy that I guess that just goes to show like how good Urban Meyer was as a coach, because I mean they had it was probably what, an 8-year stretch. Florida was dominant.
Yeah. I mean, they had phenomenal teams, Urban Meyer, and, you know, even go back more to Steve Spurrier. Like they have history. They invented freaking Gatorade. I don't know. I think that's debated between them and Florida State, but yeah, I think Florida. You're going to get the resources. The basketball team's really good, so there's going to have to definitely be some conversations there about, where's
Hmm.
the wealth going to be divvied up with, you got a top 5 basketball team coming off a national championship basketball. They were able to do it. They were able to do it with Urban Meyer and Billy Donovan back in the day.
That was before, yeah, NIL.
Exactly. So really, it was just on your own merits back then. But now that stuff kind of matters to a degree. So, but yeah, I think Florida's the obvious number 2. Gainesville's awesome. I've been to a basketball game there. I haven't been to a football game. The stadium's right across from the street. So, beautiful place. Gainesville's an awesome town. The only thing, and that's the thing about these top tier jobs, is Florida, Penn State. You kind of see the least you get.
Yeah, especially at
And
Florida. I mean, there's been 3 coaches since Urban left.
Billy Napier, Dan Mullen.
And then the guy from Colorado State, who I'm blanking on his name.
Mad Hatter can help in the chat.
But yeah, they've had 3 coaches, at least 3, since Urban left, and none of them have been able to win.
No, I mean, not at all. They haven't had any like star players. I think they really thought DJ Lagway was going to be like their saving grace, like where they had Florida had a dominant Heisman type contender player come back. And I'm not saying he can't be, but you'll have to see how he adjusts with the interim head coach. And then, does he stay next year? Does he transfer? Who knows?
And we're getting some good chatter right now from the Mad Hatter. I think this will help with the rest of our conversation. So his ranking, he's got Florida 1, Penn State 2, Florida State 3, Auburn 4, Arkansas 5, Kentucky 6. Ames providing us with some statistics. This is great for my future co-host. I am appreciating this research. PSU all-time record, 946 wins, 412 losses, and 42 ties, a .691 winning percentage, 2 claimed national titles in 1982 and 86, and a bowl record of 32 wins, 21 losses, and 2 ties for 600 winning percentage.
Kentucky's
And
one of those
then-
losses.
And then for Florida, all-time record, 770 wins, 452 losses, and 40 ties for a 626 winning percentage. Florida was bad. Florida was bad for a long time. Like,
I'm telling you, though, I know we're talking, perceived, but if
Yeah.
we're going back to the personal, if I had an offer of same monetary value between Florida and Florida State, I personally am going to Florida State.
Yeah.
And that's solely because it's in the ACC, and I can breathe in the ACC, and I can go down and lose Miami. They'll be upset, but I can go get upset by a 15th ranked Louisville, and my season's still in front of me because next week, I follow that up with Duke. But in the SEC, you go and you lose to number 6 Georgia, then you follow that up next week in Death Valley. Assuming Brian Kelly's the coach, we're not going to add them to the list, but he's on out of the woods.
I think we can call that election too. I think Brian Kelly might be out in Baton Rouge. And thank you, Matt Hatter, providing us with the coaches. It's actually, I forgot about Will Muschamp. He was like the first after Urban Meyer.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot Will Muschamp.
And then Jim McElwain, he was from Colorado State, Dan Mullen, and then obviously Billy Napier. That's crazy.
Yeah, Will Muschamp. I should remember that. Okay, so Penn State, Florida State coming in the 4. You got to go Arkansas, SEC.
I think Auburn. I'd rather Auburn than Arkansas. Yeah,
Auburn, Arkansas. Yep. Those really just because of SEC. Auburn's, I think, in a way better position. Same kind of situation you got down in Arkansas. I know it's SEC, but Arkansas is kind of Arkansas, and then who you're recruiting against in Arkansas is crazy. When you look at the money getting spent, you obviously have the Tyson chicken money, you have the Walmart money, but you have John Calipari there, and I wouldn't want that relationship.
Well, then it gets interesting. So we've stayed in the SEC, but let's not forget about UCLA, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State.
So
I know Kentucky's personally you, but
I got a school that you didn't name.
What's that?
I got a school that you didn't name that I would put next.
Let's hear it.
Stanford.
Interesting.
Yes. Andrew Luck's the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
They had a stint where they were really nationally relevant when we were younger.
Yeah, with Harbaugh.
You had Andrew Luck. You had McCaffrey.
Yep.
You have players who are still relevant enough to these kids to recruit off of.
Yep.
Beautiful weather, beautiful part of the country.
Palo Alto is pretty cold up there. It's not beautiful weather.
Olympic school, so
Yes.
you can really shine. I personally think that you could turn that into something, and you have a general manager who's very intelligent, and I think being smart is a good way to succeed right now. And I think I think Andrew Luck's probably doing a phenomenal. I mean, he just kind of started this role, so I'm not going to base it off this season. But I can guarantee you, I'm going to go on record that Andrew Luck's going to be really good at understanding I have this amount of money. These are the prospects who are available, and finding those guys who may not be on top of the rankings, but he can bargain for, who actually have potential that he can see that other people might not.
They're going to be hurt, though, playing an ACC schedule, having to travel across the country like every other week. And that was also, this was a great point by Pat McAfee on game day. He picked, when they were doing their picks, he picked Notre Dame over USC because of the statistic that whenever Lincoln Riley has flown more than 1,000 miles for a game, they've lost.
I mean, Kaylee's dad FaceTimed us Saturday morning. He's a Florida State fan. He went on he wouldn't stop going on about it's unfair to Florida State that they got to play a game, at 10:30 Eastern time at Stanford because that's 9:30 Central time, and these athletes are usually asleep by 9:30, but now you're expecting them because these kids are asleep by 9:30, expecting them to go and play a 4-quarter game past their bedtime, and I don't know. I don't think them playing at their bedtime is what contributes to bad play. I think more so their lead up to the game, their prep can get off kilt a little bit. That's probably more impactful than them playing at 9:30 their internal clock.
Stanford. Okay, so Stanford, that's after Arkansas and Auburn for you.
Correct.
Where does like Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, UCLA?
So I'm going Oklahoma State, Va Tech, UCLA.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Now, I would put Kentucky, not leaving them out. I'd put Kentucky after Stanford. Then I'd go Va Tech, Oklahoma State, UCLA. The reason I put Kentucky is look at the contract Mark Stoops got. I know everything I just said about the fan base is happy with this record, but they're getting pissy about not having this record. At the end of the day, you have such a leash. You have an AD who's not quick to fire. You're in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you get a new coach at Kentucky, he can recruit on maybe not history, but he can recruit on look at what Vanderbilt's doing. Look at what Indiana's doing. We can do that here. Here's, what I bring to the table as far as coaching schematics, getting you to the league, taking care of your family now with NIL. Let's just do it in Kentucky. So he can sell other program success, oddly, at Kentucky and then at least have a fighter's chance. And he's going to have a super long leash. So that's kind of why I put them up. Virginia Tech has a really cool, intro with Enter Sandman. Past that, Virginia Tech's whatever. Oklahoma State, I wouldn't want to follow up Mike Gundy and that kind of just, when you got a coach been there that, I mean, that's over 20 years.
Yeah. And he was a Cowboy himself. Like, yeah,
I don't want to follow that up, but I would follow that up before I went to UCLA. I'd probably just take an offensive coordinator job somewhere else where I was a head coach at UCLA. And that's just me. That's my ranking.
That was good. That was fun. This was I don't know where I heard this, but I kind of this was interesting. So Penn State, arguably the top position, who's out, James Franklin, and thinking about the names that are being considered. What do you think of Clark Lee becoming the Penn State head coach and then James Franklin going back to Vandy?
Clark Lee won't leave Vanderbilt.
Not even for Penn State.
No, that's Vanderbilt's his alma mater. His best friend, who he went to school with at Vandy, is the GM of the program. I just can't. And maybe I'm just. Maybe I'm so loyal. Maybe my loyalty is just skewed. I think of my fandom, but even at the, say the Citadel was a D1 team, right? Say the Citadel is a D1 team, and I became the head coach, and my college roommate, who's my best friend, Max, becomes the general manager, and we got this thing rolling. We're beating top programs. We're ranked in the top 10, top 15, knocking on the door to college football playoff, doing things that the Citadel's never done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my home. That's where I went to school. I'm not leaving. I can't wait for that field to be named after me. I can't wait to get the dimensions for my statue. I'm not leaving. And that's just my loyalty. I don't think Clark Lee would leave. Because here's the thing, man. He's always wanted Vanderbilt to be this good. So why would he leave once he finally got it good? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Is this have they plateaued? Have they peaked? Like, they're not going to get a Diego Pavia every year. And I think he's just that's why James Franklin left. He left for Penn State because you have the chance of getting a Diego Pavia every year.
it comes down to would Clark Lee rather have the chance to win one Sugar Bowl at Vanderbilt or 2 national championships at a different school, not his alma mater? What does he value? Does he value personal success and getting a championship for himself, or does he care more about getting the best possible bowl and regular season success for his alma mater, for them to have that as part of their history? That's what it boils down to, in my opinion.
It does. It does. And I'd like to think like we're loyal guys. Like I mean, if I were able to coach at Notre Dame, I mean, I don't know anything about football and this will never happen, but I would, love to be the alum that, brings Notre Dame back to glory.
It's like Mark Pope's not leaving Kentucky. Now, Kentucky's a top basketball school.
Yeah,
so
Notre Dame's top football. Yeah, it's not.
There's no upgrade. Like him going to Duke or Kansas would be a lateral move.
Right.
So maybe he leaves for the NBA. But
it's just, I find it hard to believe like these guys, like they're such like, the alpha, like type A, like, and like, I would think that, if you're in coaching, you play to win the game. And I think you'd want to have a chance at a national title.
Yeah, I get that. But the college football playoff allows you to always have a chance if you're just a top 12 team.
Yeah.
And he can go. I mean, they're 6-1 right now.
Yes.
He can go 10-2. And some seasons, depending on how everything else shakes out, 9-3, and get to the college football playoff. And that's all you need. You don't have to go undefeated. And there's just a good chance that he goes. I don't know. If I was Clark Lee, I wouldn't do it. I think the name to really watch for in this coaching carousel, in my opinion, is Lane Kiffin and the Florida job, or Lane. I don't think he's not going to go to Auburn, but Lane Kiffin and the Florida job. And I'm also interested to see, based off what James Franklin was saying at College Game Day, where he's going to fit into this carousel and where he lands. I'm really interested to see that.
Yeah, he will. He'll be a college. He'll be a head coach at one of the schools, I imagine, that we mentioned.
He has to try, or his contract gets jacked up.
Yeah. But speaking of Diego Pavia and the Doors, this leads into our next topic, which is Heisman Trophy favorites. And we talked, not at length, but we were texting back and forth about Diego Pavia and if he's legit or not. You're very much in the camp of yes. I don't know. Like maybe it's just style of play. Like he's it's just uncontrolled. It's like it's hard to describe his like style of play.
I watched. So if you last episode, I'm out on Diego Pavia. This LSU game changed me, maybe because I actually watched the full game, and I know they beat an LSU team that were calling for Brian Kelly's job, but dude's good. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
He's so cocky. Like he said the thing. He was like, after the Alabama loss, he said, "I just hope Alabama keeps winning so we can play them again." Like, just hey, we're gonna be in the SEC championship. Hope they keep winning so we can play again. He's so cocky. He talked about how they said on the broadcast that he looks forward. He said that after his pro football career, he's going to join the WWE. All 6 feet or 5'11" of him doesn't lack any confidence. But I watched him play and like, dude just kind of makes plays. He just keeps making plays. So you can't.
He's got like a golden retriever energy. Like I'm talking about a young college kid. He just like seems kind of dumb, but he's obviously not. Like he's a good quarterback.
I think he has skipped every media training class they've hosted at Vanderbilt. I don't think he's made it to one yet. Beyond cocky, I'll tell you right now, if he gets them to 10-2, and it's because of his quarterback play, he may not win the Heisman, but he'll be sitting there at the ceremony.
And he's kind of just like a bowling ball, like style of play. Like he's like, I don't know, he's real.
He's like a meatball, dude.
Exactly.
And I don't think he has a good arm. Like I watched him, like him throwing.
No,
The
I
ball,
don't think he does either.
I feel like the ball's in the air forever on even short. Like I don't think he has a lot of zip in the ball, but they keep
There's
catching it.
there's
And
no way he makes it to the NFL as a quarterback.
no,
No, okay, we're on the same page. All right. No.
no. He might make a training camp squad, but I mean he's no.
He's got like a lot of like
Maybe no.
Johnny football, Johnny Manziel, like kind of swag, and also he just wins. Like he finds a way to win, but like he's like to me, he's like a poor man's Johnny Manziel.
You're gonna hear me cuss this kid so much when he plays Kentucky this year. The things I'm gonna say, because I have a bad feeling he's just gonna put it on us. And as long as he's not playing us, I love it. No, he's a poor man's Johnny Manziel, but I don't know. Johnny Manziel did all the stuff he did at Texas A&M. Now Johnny was a true freshman doing it. This kid's like 25, but he's doing it at Vandy, so you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. And he is currently, so I'm looking at Bet MGM, no endorsement, no free ads, gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER, right, Braxton?
1-800-GAMBLER.
He is currently 1, 2, 3, 4. He's sixth at a plus 1,300 for the Heisman Trophy. And the top five, we have Julian Sayin and Ty Simpson, Ohio State and Alabama quarterbacks, tied at, and also actually Fernando Mendoza also tied at 300. Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, and then fourth is Gunnar Stockton, Georgia, at plus 1,000, and then Marcel Reed of Texas A&M at plus 1,000. Carson Beck tumbled, rightfully so, after that Friday night performance against Louisville, getting picked off 4 times.
He goes straight to the press conference and throws his wide receivers on the bus the whole time.
Mercenary.
Oh, man.
Absolute mercenary.
You know how these Heisman votes go. Like the writers are going to go with what's hot at the time. So pay attention to how the Big Ten shakes out. Whoever comes out on top at the end of the season between Ohio State and Indiana, money should probably go that way.
Ty Simpson's looking pretty good.
Dude, Ty Simpson, I have so many opinions on him because the way Kaylee talks about him, and Kaylee just calls him Ty. I don't know how I feel about that.
First name basis.
Yeah, but he's playing a lot better. That Florida State loss in the start of the season just keeps looking worse and worse. But I'm thinking that might have just been a blip based off how they've played Georgia and Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, based off of Notre Dame last year losing to Northern Illinois, I don't think anyone really cares about like a week 1, week 2 loss.
Mm-hmm. But I look at those 3 guys, but I'm telling you right now, if Diego Pavia gets them the college football playoff, I'd be surprised if they kept him out of the final voting. Because that's clicks, dude. That's ESPN and all them getting him there just on the red carpet. Like I don't even want to know what kind of suit Diego would wear to that event. And he would probably talk crap after he like came in third, and he'd say like, "Well, I'm gonna have a longer NFL career than that bozo."
Right.
And he'll be dead serious because he's too stupid to know better. Okay. I don't even think he's trying to be mean. Like, I think he's just dumb.
Like, that's swagger.
Yeah, I mean, maybe dumb's not the word. He's just like, I think I'm jealous because I'm like only 3 years older than Diego Pavia, and I have 3 kids and career and work my way towards retirement. And he's still playing college football, but for a 24, 25-year-old, he has the mindset of a 12-year-old in the backyard pretending like you're like hitting the last second 3-pointer to win like the NBA Finals championship.
He's got a lot of Go ahead.
In his mind, there's no reason he shouldn't be, starting for the Bills next season. Like he would go into training camp like, I'm taking Josh Allen's job. Like this is my job to lose. Like,
swagger. He's got a lot of Gronk. He's got a lot of Gronk in him when it comes to like just like kind of dumb, immature, like.
I mean, I legitimately think he'd walk in and he'd go to like San Francisco 49ers training camp and being like, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy better prove something because this is my
Oh,
job.
he would just the first team would go out and he'd just line up under center and be like, Rook, what are you doing?
Get out of here, too. Oh, man, we didn't even give you a red jersey. Just go.
Yeah. And then it's good to see we got some nods. I mean, this list is dominated by quarterbacks, which I mean that's just the state of the game right now. But we do have Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State wide receiver at plus 1400. And then my preseason pick for the Heisman Trophy, a homer pick in Jeremiah Love at plus 3000. Did you see his performance on Saturday night against USC?
I was preoccupied in Lexington, but I saw the final score, so I'm sure he was a big factor in that.
Yeah, he rushed. It was in the over 200 yards. He is so good.
I'm happy for your Irish continuing to go. I'm also interested to see how much longer Marcus Freeman is in Notre Dame, depending on how things play out.
Yeah, that's been brought up. Like I said, I don't know if we probably didn't say this on the show, but we texted this. Like, yeah, you're not doing your job as an AD of Penn State, of Florida State, of Auburn, if you're not making calls to Marcus Freeman. Yeah, Marcus Freeman, to Chris Signetti, to probably even like Ryan Day. Like,
you shoot. Yeah, I mean, when Kentucky, when John Calipari left, we called Billy Donovan and Jay Wright.
Yeah,
Jay Wright, he's a post game host, and Billy Donovan's sworn off coaching. Like, we still gave him the call.
I think what it will do is similar. I mean, how Indiana are, right? Like they heard the murmurings and they extended Kurt Signetti, who is now making
locked.
Yeah, I think something similar happens with Marcus Freeman. If I think he would give Notre Dame an opportunity to match. So I think he very much he likes Notre Dame. He wants to stay here. His family likes Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, your only way really right now to rule people out of the carousel is who announced extensions in the middle of the season like that. Yeah. So anyone else is still in play.
So to tie a bow on this, Braxton, who is now your pick, like mid-season pick for the Heisman Trophy? I think players are starting to separate themselves from the rest, and we should more consistent play.
I think Mendoza,
Indiana.
Yep,
it's a good pick.
They're playing good, dude. Indiana, shit.
Yeah,
they're playing good. I can't pick an Ohio State player. I just can't do it.
I know. It's probably going to be. If Ohio State runs the table, it's probably going to be saying. I want to stay with my preseason pick of Jeremiah Love. Like, if he can keep stacking up yards and Notre Dame makes the playoffs, he'll at least be in New York.
Yeah, I mean, that's half the battle.
Okay. So we are getting close to over the hour mark, Braxton. We had a topic of 21 questions for our 21st episode. So this was important to you. If anyone in the chat wants to
and I thought you would lead the show with throughout the show, put in any questions you had. So we're kind of pressed against it right now, and I don't even know how many people are watching, and they probably all
got 4 concurrent viewers right now.
There we go. Man, we got to get our socials figured out. We got to get some new blood in here, dude.
Well, while we wait for questions, I think we'll go probably not the best lead with the episode title, and it clearly didn't bring anyone in for viewership as Broadway Woody. But I went to my first NFL game today, Braxton. The Patriots, number one AFC East Patriots creamed the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium in Mike Vrabel's return to Nashville.
Vrabel came back today.
Yep.
I don't even keep up with the Titans. I don't even know who their interim head coach is. That's awesome. And Vrabel, I heard. I didn't know. Did he end up winning the game and had the fans chanting for him as he exited the field?
Well, that was the really fun part, was that it was basically a home game for the New England Patriots with the amount of fans,
Sure.
similar colors to the Titans, but there was definitely, from my vantage point, more Patriots jerseys and hats than Titans. So we were chanting Vrabel at the end.
You know, so Kaylee asked me today. She said, when we move back up to that neck of the woods, and you're only a 2-hour drive from Nissan Stadium, are you gonna find yourself as a cheater, an adulterer to my girlfriend? And I told her it's not cheating if you're just talking. So like finding myself at a game, but I don't want to keep going on. But every week that passes, Cam Ward just continues to show you why you didn't need to draft Cam Ward, because Cam Ward does nothing that Will Levis didn't do, and he's actually statistically way worse than Will Levis. And Will Levis was on a statistically way worse team as far as offensive line goes. So it's just a wasted draft pick, and that comes from the top. I mean, Mike Bergonzi, he comes from Kansas City, so they just assumed that he was going to, have a Patrick Mahomes effect. But you can replace the players all you want. You can't replace the Andy Reids and the coaches of the world. Mike McCoy coming out calling the game. He was out there running allegedly. I wouldn't know this. I don't keep up with it, but he was like running stadiums before, and everyone was all hyped. But Cam Ward throws for, I heard, I don't know, 250 yards or so today. Had a pick, fumble. Man, yeah, he threw for a lot of yards, but he still lost, 31-13, I think. I don't know. So
31-13.
yeah,
Titans scored for the first time in the first quarter this year during that game. Actually, Cam Ward started off pretty hot. Titans got up to 10 points pretty quick.
yeah.
Touchdown in the first quarter.
I don't know who they hire, man. Because the owner, and I saw some wild stuff on Twitter that like Amy the owner, like her and Bergonzi were there, and apparently Vrabel walked right past him. They didn't even like make eye contact, didn't even say anything to Vrabel. And Vrabel, he's probably the first or second best coach in Titans history. And we ran him out, dude. And I'm glad he won. Good for him. He should still be the coach of Tennessee. And all the Vrabel stuff started in Tennessee because him and Amy and the GM at the time didn't agree with who there was a power struggle. And people thought it was just Vrabel being an ass about it, but it just continues to show that there's upper management problems with Tennessee.
We got some great chatter in the chat right now from the Mad Hatter. Braxton should go ahead and admit that if his NFL fandom was a TV show, it would be called Sister Wives.
So here's the thing, why I would value the opinion of a Cowboys fan. Is it illegal to have an AFC and an NFC team?
I wouldn't say it's illegal, no.
And I can promise you they're not going to meet in the Super Bowl. I mean, so I'm telling you, like, I don't know what coaching hire they can make to get me back in the fold. I'm legitimately like, they would have to sell the team. Amy would have to sell the team for me because she is the most toxic owner. And until she goes, we're not. They're not we. They're not. We have a game tomorrow against Detroit, up in Detroit, Monday Night Football, 7:00 Eastern. But it is what it is.
And then we did get a question, 21 questions from Miss Amy Lewis. Dan, how is the dating going? I got some fishing lines out in the water, got a few nibbles. So it's good. It's good.
What's a nibble?
I've been on a date.
When?
Last week.
Where'd you go?
I went out in East Nashville to a Love and Exile wine bar. No free ads, but it was very good.
Did she have a good time?
Out of respect for this nice young lady, we can talk about this offline.
Is she a listener? I would love if she'd get in the chat. I'd be honored for her to see this conversation, to be honest. I hope she does hear it and listen to it. Fair enough. You didn't tell me about this off air, so I would have no idea knowing. So
I'm a private guy.
Well, I'm glad it went well. I can't wait to meet the Mrs. Woodhouse. But she can't interfere with your eating.
You're already dishing out orders.
Well, when me and Elliot come down to watch the Preds play, like that's me, Uncle Dan, and Elliot going to the Preds game. We can't be having, I can't have my daughters meeting all these new aunts. It has to be like this is the aunt. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. No, that's understandable. That's very understandable.
So and well, maybe she might help out so people don't think that whatever they'll think. But
we got Chris Lewis asking, did she sign an NDA? We'll when we get you on as a guest co-host, we'll work through the HR protocols and our legal documentation for I guess my acquaintances.
Dan, you cost me paperwork.
Huh?
I had a certain organization follow up with me about you over paperwork in the mail. That's how important you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you filling that out.
Gosh.
I'll get you a Guinness next time we're out.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got through all the ticker topics. This is a good show. This was fun. You have any closing thoughts, Braxton?
Like, subscribe, share, comment, post, tell a friend, text a friend. Thank you for listening. We love
Tell
you.
all your friends.
Tell every friend you have.
All right. Thank you again to our award-winning listeners. Episode 21, Woody Lew, Sports and You. Have a great week, everyone.